Everyone says the same thing. I'm waiting for rates to go down before I buy a house. And at first glance, that sounds really smart. Why would you buy a house with a higher interest rate if you could just wait and get a lower one? But here's the question not many people ask. What if the higher rate is actually helping you? What if the people waiting on the sidelines are setting themselves to pay more for the exact same house down the road? Because when rates fall, it's not just your payment that changes. The entire housing market changes as well. So today, I'm gonna show you why buying during a higher rate environment can sometimes be the smarter long-term move, why waiting for rates to drop can backfire, and how working with a mortgage broker can give you options that most buyers never even realize they have. Let's get into it. Think of the housing market like an engine. When it's well-tuned, supply and demand are roughly equal and it just hums along. But when rates are high, the engine starts to gum up. Demand gets stopped, buyers get nervous or can't even qualify to participate, sellers get fewer showings, homes sit on the market longer. Price reductions end up happening frequently, anything to sell the home rather than keep it sitting on the market with a for sale sign in the yard. Now suddenly in that environment, buyers have leverage again. They can offer less for the same house. They can demand concessions to help pay for closing costs. They can pick their ideal closing date, all because there's less demand. There's more sellers in the market than there are buyers. Now compare that to what happens when rates begin to fall. The engine loosens up, all that pent up demand on the sidelines enters in. All those buyers that have been waiting, they jump in and start shopping. Investors become more active, homes start selling faster. Multiple offers become more common and competition for the same house increases. And when demand increases faster than supply, well, prices tend to rise. Buyers stop getting concessions from sellers, and getting that same house you were eyeing when rates were high just got more difficult, more expensive, or even in some cases impossible, not because the house became better, but now more people are chasing it. Everybody focuses on the interest rate and almost nobody focuses on the purchase price. But here's the reality. You can refinance an interest rate, but you can't refinance the price you paid for the house. You're stuck with the purchase price while the interest rate is temporary. Now, statistically, people in the US keep their loan, which is their interest rate, for 5 to 8 years. But people keep their home for an average of 12 years. So ask yourself, which number deserves more attention? The interest rate you'll probably have for a few years, or the purchase price you'll live with for the entire time you're in the home? So let's imagine two buyers looking at the same neighborhood. Buyer A purchases while rates are relatively high. Now, because competition when they're shopping is lower, they negotiate a better purchase price, they get a little seller concessions added to the deal, they avoid a bidding war, and they have time and breathing room to think before making an offer. But buyer B waits for rates to fall 6 months, 12 months, maybe longer. Rates finally improve, but at the same time they start shopping, thousands of other buyers have been waiting to shop too, and they all come into the market together. Now homes are selling faster, multiple offers on the same house return, prices increase. Buyer B gets a lower interest rate, but pays significantly more for the home. Now the exact numbers will vary every time for every situation. Now the point I'm trying to make is not that rates don't matter, it's that they're only one part of the equation. Price matters, competition matters, negotiating power, seller concessions, breathing room when you're making a deal. And many buyers just look at rate as the only variable. Now here's where things get really interesting. Most people think they only have two choices: buy now with today's rates or wait. But that's not actually the choice. The real question is, can you comfortably afford the home today? If the answer is yes, there may be a third option. Buy the house now, lock in today's price, build equity while you live there, then refinance later if rates improve. Now, obviously, nobody can guarantee what future rates are going to be. Nobody knows what the market will do, but what we do know is that homeowners at least have options while people sitting on the sidelines waiting don't. And this is where I think many buyers accidentally limit themselves. If your entire mortgage strategy is, I'll just go to my bank and see what rate they give me, you're probably missing opportunities. Because a mortgage isn't just a rate, it's a strategy. When I work with clients, we're not only looking at today's rate on this one deal, very short term. What we're looking at is your long-term plans. How long do you expect to keep the property? What refinance opportunities might exist later on? How much should you pay an upfront cost? Should you buy points? Should you not buy points? How should we structure the loan today if rates were going to improve tomorrow, or if we think they're going to get worse tomorrow? And because I'm a broker, we can often discuss multiple lender options and pricing structures, not just on this loan, but on potentially on future loans. The goal isn't simply getting approved. The goal is creating the best overall financial outcome throughout your entire life. Now let's be clear, this strategy with buying at higher rates and potentially, hoping on a future refi isn't for everyone. If buying today stretches your budget too far, that's a different conversation. If you're not financially ready, waiting may absolutely be the right move. This video isn't about rushing into a home purchase. It's about challenging the assumption that waiting for lower rates is automatically the best decision. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. The key is understanding the trade-offs. The biggest mistake I see buyers make is focusing on one number, the interest rate. But a smart home purchase involves much more than that. It's purchase price, competition, seller concessions, future refinance opportunities, the loan structure, the loan term. All of this stuff matters. And if you get laser focused on one thing, you can kind of lose track of all that. So if you're wondering whether buying now or waiting makes more sense for your specific situation, reach out, use the link in the description and schedule a call. I'd love to walk you through both scenarios, because the right answer is not the same for everyone. And sometimes the smartest move is the one most people aren't willing to make. If you want to chat, again, you can schedule a call with me. And if this is helpful in any way, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share with someone that you think might find this valuable. Until next time, take care.